Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Hey NL, do you still have pneumonia? I mean, yeah, like in my lungs and my body, everywhere. Pneumonia, so I don't know if it's pneumonia, okay? Maybe it's pneumonia, maybe I'm just being a little baby. 6MHT 3B33, 6MHT 3B 3B. Stats are good. Speed's bad. Damage is amazing. Rate of fire is fine. Honestly, damage being good and rate of fire being fine are what make this work. Excuse me. This room is a crime. You are going to be prosecuted at Den Haag. That's right. I'm familiar with the part of the world that prosecutes people for war crimes. You know why? Because 4 months ago, I watched The Hitman's Bodyguard on an airplane, and it illuminated and brought a lot of things to life for me. Oh wow, NL, I'm so happy to hear that you liked the movie. I also watched... No, I hated it, okay? I just remember every single detail. And also, when I was flying back from my hometown, the guy in front of me, in seat 13E, was watching it, and I was kind of watching it through his screen. I'm one of those guys. If you don't fly much, you probably never experienced it, but like... The number one thing I do when I get on an airplane is I go, okay, what movies are there to watch? What am I going to see? I prioritize. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start with this one. Then when the plane, you know, we're settled in, less likely to have announcements and interruptions, I'll go to something a little bit more serious, like The Shape of Water, which I saw and loved. But what happens after that is no matter what you've picked, you're just going to watch whatever the person in front of you is watching on their screen with no sound. For whatever reason, it's more compelling to the human brain to watch what someone else is watching, even if you've already seen it, through a little crack in between your seat, than to watch whatever you chose to watch. I don't understand it. All I know is I'm a victim of it the same way you are. I'm beholden to it. That was very close. The one thing that has me walking on eggshells about this run, oh, excuse me, sir, is I don't know what our HP is like. If we have 1 HP, it's bad. Anything above 1, and this is a pretty blessed run. You know what? I'm pretty excited. Let me see what we get here first. Pardon me, the magician. I'm pretty excited, because I'm bald, okay? Everybody involved with the NLSS will be bald one day. And before you say, oh, not all old men are bald, you're right and you're wrong. Pardon me. You're right and you're wrong. All old men are bald to some degree. You ever see, like, a 90-year-old with a full head of hair? Nah, they got thinning, they got a widow's peak, they got a horseshoe. It just doesn't happen. You know, otherwise they got a hairpiece, probably. You either go bald or die trying. That's the lesson I want you to learn here. If only I had taken 9 lives in advance of being in this room. I could have picked that up. We're definitely going to grab this, of course. And placebo is really good. If we can just manage to actually get a pill that's decent, we'll be very happy with it. This run is honestly set now. The only thing we have to worry about is making sure that my throat stays hydrated. It's the classic NL sickness. My brain feels good now. My body is like, nah, what if we just, like, make you sound like Courtney Love for the next 9 or 10 days for no reason. I don't live a hard lifestyle. Pardon me. I haven't earned that harried voice you're giving me right now. What would Runeberg Kano do if it did? You get the idea. So one day, this is why I'm excited, I never finished my train of thought. Can we please get a pill to use with our myriad battery charges? Thank you so much for the key, at least. Oh my god, it's quad shot. One day, I will not be the only bald member of the NLSS. Or everybody else, or even myself included, will be dead, in which case I won't be so worried about the baldness thing. Not that I'm worried about it to begin with, but you get the idea. It does consume me every day of my life. I get called the egg, egg, egg. Hey, egg. I've never met you before, but sure, call me Egg. See if I mind. A couple of tinted rocks we don't have access to yet. One day there's going to be a carton of eggs. Who's going to go next? I would never prognosticate. Because I think it's rude, you know? I remember what it was like. I remember being 18, my first year of university. And my roommate ran his hands through my hair and went, "You're gonna go bald soon." And I was like, "What are you talking about, dude? My hair is so thick, that's what my mom always says. You're gonna go bald," which he did, but anyway, it's a different story. So I don't want to draw attention to anybody else. I'm just saying, at one point in the, you know, next decade or so, there's gonna be more than one bald person on the NLSS. And the number of times I'm gonna draw them as an egg, I'm gonna call them Egg, it's gonna make your freaking head spin. It's gonna be beautiful. I can't do my Metallica voice, I think. Here, for whom the ball tolls. Sort of works. Just remember, you reap what you freaking sow. I will take Death's List. And you know why I'm taking Death's List? Because I'm a dummy. This item so rarely... Oh, I'm a genius. This item so rarely works out well for me, but I know deep in my heart it has the potential to get there. And if we have, I mean, let's be straight up with one another right now. We have a lot of survivability. The run is very good. Doesn't mean it couldn't be a little bit better. But at least it's not like, you know, those cursed runs we had a long time ago we ruined that I was so sure we were going to be fine there. I'm not going to worry about enabling Death's List. I'm just going to worry about, you know what, this room deserves it. I'm just going to worry about survival and thrival. I don't care if thrival's not a word. As far as I'm concerned, it's a word now. Thrival goes west. Hey, hey, hey. That was scary. Worked out, though. Well, I'll tell you what. You have my permission to continue to give me way too many gold chests, a disproportionately high number compared to the number of keys we have access to at our disposal. Thank you for creating a spider and ruining Death's List. I really appreciate it. But you have to give me Guppy's Tail on this floor. It's a pretty good deal, because Guppy's Tail is not going to win me the game by itself. Right, game? Wink, wink. Art of the deal. Try reading sometime. I've never read The Art of the Deal. I probably didn't have to say it. I just, in case it wasn't obvious, I've never read Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal. I'll tell you why. I don't trust salespeople. And this is not just because, you know, inevitably some of the people watching this are going to work in sales. I don't mean this to say that I don't trust you. Okay? But I don't trust the concept of a salesperson. Oh, we got a speed upgrade. That's excellent. When I go into a store, I think that I know what I want. I think what the best salesperson on earth does is they help people find what they want. And if you're feeling a little bit hesitant about it, tears up. That's not bad, actually. If they're feeling a little bit hesitant about it, but you've talked to the customer and you know what their desires and their needs and what they're looking for are, you give them a little push to go over the edge. You know, you help them with a purchase. You're like a consultant. That was a shot speed upgrade, which is not particularly good, but life goes on. We did get it for free, which is even better than Clips, who merely got it for cheap. I'm just gonna find the item room and then we'll move on here. But I don't trust people who read a lot of sales and self-help books. Even, and I've read it, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's like one of the most influential books about social interactions of all time. The only reason I read it was to educate myself about the tactics that people might use against me in a kind of sales environment, you know? One of the things, if you've never read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's not like it's a mean-spirited book that's like, here's how you can take advantage of people. It's more like, you know, here's how you can make more meaningful relationships in business, whatever the heck that means. The older I get, the more I start to become suspicious that business is actually a thing, even though I am in one. When people are like, you know, I'm a businessman, I'm like, what does that mean? You're unemployed? You fly? You're a professional Frequent flyer? I don't understand what a business person. Sure, what industry do you work in? I don't know where I'm going with this. We could go to the shop. Do we want to go to the shop? We've already been to the curse room. We're gonna hold. It feels like I'm walking on sunshine because it makes arcades better. I think we just leave. Let's. Oh, never mind. Hello. But one of the things, like the biggest probable lesson from that book that has been made mainstream is when you talk to somebody, it recommends using their first name over and over and over to create a forced sense of rapport. So that's you ever buy something? You ever buy something? And the salesperson goes, hey, what's your name? And then you go, hey, my name is Jeremy. And then they go, Jeremy. No, they probably go, hey, Jeremy, sick. I'm Dave. What's up? And then you got to be like, we're friends? But we're not friends? You're like trying to sell me a car right now. We're not adversaries necessarily. We're colleagues for this small moment. So, you know, my advice, this is how to win friends and influence people 2.0. Give them a fake name. And give them a fake name that's ridiculous. Now, inevitably, whatever I say is a ridiculous name is going to offend somebody with that name. So I'm sorry to all the Lorenzos of the world. I don't look like a Lorenzo is the thing. Next time you're in, you know, trying to, like, the Apple store. And Damien's trying to help you out. Hey, can I interest you in a new iPad Pro? By the way, bro, what's your name? My name is Alonzo. He's gonna be like, what's up, Alonzo? I'm Damien. And then every time he says it, you know, it's like you're undermining him. You're selling him on giving you a deal. It's like you're the salesperson now. I will take dim bulb. Not useful immediately, perhaps one day. And that's, you can smell it a mile away. And it always frustrates me. Because I'm like, you don't have to sell me. I'm already like, I have no backbone. I don't negotiate. When we bought our car, I didn't negotiate. So I basically paid like, at least a couple of $1,000s more for the car than I had to. Just because I was like, I'm not gonna do the thing where I'm like, well, I got the Ford dealership down the street offered me this, so if you don't give me a match on that, I'm walking out. And they go, do it. And then you start to walk out, and they call you on your phone as you're in the lot, and they go, wait a minute, Alonzo. I just talked to my manager. Turns out we can sweeten the pot a little bit. You know, I wasn't about that song and dance. Now, how's that 2015 Ford Focus working out for me? Not so hot. Transmission is bad. Drives at low speeds like a washing machine. But I am getting my money's worth out of undermining Ford Canada at every opportunity whenever I bring it up in a video. So there's that. And, you know, if you want that to stop, consider recognizing the legitimacy of the class action lawsuit in Canada as you have in the United States of America. Just saying. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too real. But I already, like, you know, I consider myself a modern man. The sticker price? Sure, I'll pay the sticker price. I'm not worried about being the guy who's like, every time he shows you his Nissan Sentra is like, yeah, really, I beat him in the negotiation room. You know, it strikes me as an old school thing. If it works for you, by all means. I'm just willing to avoid it because I'm scared that somehow I'll end up paying more if I lose the negotiation. But anyway, there's no save points in real life is the thing, so you can't save scum. This is the ideal Deathlist setup. No! You tried. You got something for me? Anyway, that's why I don't negotiate, because I'm scared. I don't respect haggling. That's why it annoys me when I walk in and they're like, hey, what's your name? Ryan. Hey, Ryan, what's up? How's your day been so far? You know who does it all the time now? I don't know. It must have been in like a management course for restaurant and hospitality. When I pay by card at a restaurant, the server always makes small talk, and it gets really awkward. Not because they're awkward, but because I'm awkward, and I feel bad for them because I'm like, obviously, like, you don't actually care about what you're asking me. Just cut the charade, right? I'm not mad, it's just a little weird. So they'll be like, you know, it's 11 p.m. when we go out for dinner because we've been working all night, and let's be honest, we wake up late. Excuse me, Guppy, by the way? Maybe next time. I'm gonna grab it anyway, why not? They'll be like, enjoy that weather today? And I always have to be like, what weather? I'm in an office with no windows. And they're like, oh, cool, what do you do for work? Computer stuff. Oh, really? What kind of computer stuff? Oh, I actually, like, have you ever heard of Twitch and YouTube? Nah. And I gotta explain, like, the whole concept of the business. And, like, as soon as the card is approved, all interest dries up. They're like, all right, well, have a good night. I'm like, we don't need to do it. We could just sit silently here. I'm not gonna tip less because, you know, you're not engaging me in conversation. That would be a real jerk move. I'm gonna tip less because you forgot to bring the appetizers out before the entree, so we ended up with just a stagger. This has never happened. I'm mostly just being a jerk. And again, I know this sounds like I'm being rude to service people. It's quite the opposite. It's out of an abundance of politeness that I find myself being this judgmental. I'm like, I don't want to make you uncomfortable by making you feel like you have to pretend to be interested in me. And we're never going to see each other again. Like, when we took a cab back from the airport, the cab was like $31. I gave the dude cash, because for once I actually had it. And this is just me demonstrating that I'm the world's nicest guy. Oh my god, we have conjoined? That was a little unexpected, but not unwelcomed. High Priestess. Hold on, hold on.
Power pill.
That is much better. It's actually like a strict upgrade. I love it. It was $31. I gave the guy $40 in cash and said, I did the back of the napkin calculation, right? I was like, just give me $2 back. And he said, thank you, sir. Are you always so nice? And I was like, dude, this is like an 18% tip. That's industry standard. And then I said, nah, you just caught me on a good day. Most of the time, I'm a jerk. And he laughed and said, I don't think so. You have a really nice face. And I just wanted to be like, dude, thank you. But also, you didn't have to say that. It's not that it makes me uncomfortable. I feel like you expect me to be some kind of like I'm gonna be deferential in this. I'm obviously being way more anal about it than I should be. But it's like, what do you want me to say? It's like, thank you? I mean, my face is genetic. Most people, by the way, they tell me I do not have a nice face. They tell me I have what's known as RBF. Resting bad dude face. I can't say the real word because Google DeepMind language filter will rake me over the coals here. And I do, but the thing is, I'm actually like a happy person for the most part. I know I'm working an uphill battle here because every bit that I do is like, hey, somebody did something innocuous and I'm gonna judge them for it. But like for real, I'm a pretty tolerant person. I don't want any of this though. These items are garbage. Worse than that taxi driver, am I right? Like I said, I'm a very tolerant person. But, you know, I just think saying somebody has a nice face is a little... I don't believe you. I've heard the opposite from other people. I think I have a mean face. I have a nice personality for the most part, but... believe it or not. And dude, if you asked people on the NLSS, I think some of them would agree with that. I know you're saying you don't really have a nice personality, you're kind of acerbic, but that's why we like you. It's like you're kind of like a lovable curmudgeon. I actually am relatively nice most of the time. I think, at least. I mean, the cab driver said it, so it can't be wrong. He said it after I gave him money that you're not so... legally, you don't have to tip them, but simultaneously, like, if you don't, you're like a real jerk about it, or... I don't... It's so weird, dude. Tipping is weird. I would never say tipping is not weird. We just have to do it. Because if you don't do it, you're a jerk. Or you're about to get in... You have to get in, like, an uncomfortable situation, like, oh, I'm sorry, is there something I could have done better? Were you unhappy with your service? And you gotta be like, nah, I'm just trying to fight this system that I disagree with, but not really fight it, mostly just save myself a little bit of money and do a silent protest and never let anybody feel the burn except for the, you know, the little guy at the other end. I'm rambling. I'm rambling because the run is good. It's a lot slower than our last couple. I'm happy, you know, my voice is relatively held out here. It's always encouraging. Either way, though. I didn't use the 4 room on the last floor. I'm just realizing now. We didn't have to, but we could have. I'm trying to think of what... I guess we could have used it to try to manufacture a better devil deal. Dude, it's working. Come on, Deathlist. Come on, buddy. That was ideal except for the payout. X-Lax. I'm pretty happy with Power Pill. It's basically like we have a Unicorn Horn, but once every 4 rooms. There are obviously better spacebar items than that, but... Oh, you jerk. Getting yourself killed just to deny me Death's List. I see how it is. What? The boss room is not here? We just got a damage upgrade? I was not paying attention at all to that. I'm just, I'm skeptical of sales, is all I'm saying. It's different, I guess, if you're in, like, a consulting industry and you're like, I got this piece of software, I have to sell people on it, you know? So you go out, take them to a nice dinner, get them drunk, they do something they regret, and then they feel compelled or coerced to sign a contract with your company. Because not only do you feel like friends, but now you have blackmail material. I'm pretty sure that's how, like, most business is done at a high level. Just a series of P-tapes out there. It's like, hey, why'd you sign that contract with Oracle? Well, remember the time Jeffrey came to town? Remember the time Alonzo came to town? Oh my god, my voice. Alonzo! I remember that guy. Bald, exceptionally handsome. Didn't really look like an Alonzo. That's the guy.
Power pill.
And that's the job. I don't know why I like that quote so much. I just don't want to be sold. I always feel like it's adversarial. Like, you ever walk into like an Old Navy? Not the clothing store. I mean, like, you know, the British Navy of the 18th century. With Duke Wellington and all that. They're always like, can I help you find something? And you're like, nah, dude, I see it. There's the pants. There's the shirts. Same as it ever was. I've done this bit before. I'm just saying. It happens. I hate going in and saying I'm just browsing. Because then I feel compelled. This is... And can I make an anime reference? I'm going to make an anime reference. It's breaking new ground. One of the reasons, you know, I'm watching... Very slowly watching Agretsuko. One of the reasons the show kind of spoke to me a little bit was in episode 1 when, I mean, I don't even remember the main character's name at this point. It's either Retsuko or something. She goes into the store. She doesn't want to buy anything, but she doesn't want to make the store owner, like, feel bad or accuse her of shoplifting. So she buys socks. I've been there. I feel like as soon as somebody goes like, hey, can I help you with something? And you go, I'm just browsing. When you walk out of the store, it's like you're getting away with something. It's like, can I do this? Don't I need to sign a form before I can leave the store? Apparently not. Happened to us at the grocery store. So we were at a grocery store that had a coffee shop inside of it. And the coffee shop sold food from the grocery store. So we got like a fruit cup from the grocery store. But we didn't eat it. And then we went grocery shopping. So we hid the fruit cup in one of our bags. It's kind of ironic, I guess. We hid it because we didn't want to be accused of stealing. So what did we do? Well, we made it seem like we were stealing something. And we got away with it. But we didn't get away with anything. It just felt like we were. It's so weird. We were doing something we legally had the, like, right to do. It's like when you ever go into a grocery store and you got, like, a soda that you bought someplace else. You almost want to go check in with, like, the garrison when you walk in. Hey, just so you guys know, this isn't your soda. I bought this soda someplace else, okay? It's not your soda. Sometimes I actually, and this is not really a joke, but it may be funny. I kind of admire the self-confidence of unabashed criminals. I'm not saying I want to be an unabashed criminal. Merely that I do, to some extent, aspire to that level of self-confidence. Okay, just keep trying to make this work. This run has every available opportunity to succeed still. That's very nice, a damage upgrade, thank you. Like, I remember I was at a grocery store. The dude in front of us in line had clearly taken a can of soda out of the cooler, consumed it, and then put the empty can on the conveyor belt to get the 5 cents back for returning the recyclable container. And then the cashier was like, "Did you buy this here?" And then he was like, "Nah, I brought it in from outside." Even though, like, the can was probably still ice cold, you know, it had condensation on it. And she was just like, "Well, whatever. You know, I get paid like $10.75 an hour. I'm not gonna question it."
Gulp.
Oh, what did we gulped Dim Bulb, I think, which is actually really good. Then we took Power Pill because I'm a sucker. I could never do that. Literally, the way that it would have happened if it had been me, she'd be like, "Did you buy that here?" And even if I didn't, I'd be like, "No." And she'd be like, "Are you sure?" And I'd be like, "Whatever, I'll just pay for it again." I can't handle the aspersions of guilt you're casting on me here. Fine. Just to make this right, and just so you don't call the cops. I was always so paranoid about getting the cops called on me for everything. You know, cut somebody off in traffic for the next, like, 2 hours. I'm, like, looking over my shoulder, like, cops there? Do a rolling stop at a stop sign instead of a legitimate stop? I'm like, "Hey, honey, don't answer the phone for a few days. I've been living dangerously."
Power pill.
Basically, I'm a coward, is what it comes down to. I have been in trouble with the law once. And this is like, first off, better keep your mouth shut if you know what's good for you. Secondly, it was when I was in college, and this is not a joke. If you're ever gonna find yourself in this situation, it's a very Northernlion-y way to do so. I've never been pulled over in my entire life. Hold up a second. Hello, did you catch the fridge Pokemon? These Pokemon Go raids. I can't win with these cats! When we were in my hometown, we walked to this Pokemon Go raid, because as you can tell, I'm a huge fan. And, so Kate's getting ready to raid with these, strangers, and then after she joins the lobby, somebody just shouts out, "Everybody leave!" And everybody left, so it was like her and 2 other people with like a level 1 Venomoth trying to fight this big Pokemon that looks like Gamera or something. It's not Blastoise. I know what Blastoise looks like, okay? And they lost. And then the other group won. What an amazing experience. Anyway. Yes, that was a reference to the National Basketball Association. Get me the heck out of here. I've never been pulled over. Never gotten a speeding ticket. Never gotten a, red light violation or something like that. Handle myself with decorum when I'm behind the wheel. But in university, I did get 1 ticket for underage consumption of alcohol. I'm not proud to admit it. Don't follow in my footsteps. And I'm even less proud to admit that the next night, I got a ticket for the exact same thing. It's the dangers of having a late birthday, okay? That's all I'm gonna say about that. If you're born in November, when I went my freshman year of university, I was 17 years old. Legal drinking age in Ontario, where I grew up, was 19. I had friends that, January 2nd, they turned 19 years old. I'm over here barely 18, You can relate, especially if you got a late birthday or you skipped a year. So I was hanging out with my friends, and I got 2 tickets in 2 consecutive nights for doing something that was not legal for me to do for, like, the next 6 weeks. I'm not saying it's not a citation or a misdemeanor. It's true. And ever since, I thought I was gonna fight it too. You know, people like they get indignant when they get in trouble. Like, I'm gonna put the system on trial, even though I know what I did was wrong. And then they were like, here's the due date, and I was like, okay, officer, I'm sorry. Here's the money. That's the only time, though. Apart from that, I've been on the up and up. I mean, that was like literally 11 years ago. So we're past the statute of limitations. Surely I cannot get the death penalty for those 2 tickets that I paid in full anyway. But that's how my brain works. It's like if I ever get in trouble with the law, I gotta like get a lawyer and be like, hey, dude, you gotta get me off. I got priors. It's the 3 strikes law. I had 2 citations when I was a sophomore in university. They're gonna put me away for life. Dude, Midas touch, so good. It's a nice run, you know, we had to coast, or we were able to coast, I guess is the nice thing to say here, but this is a fun one. Certainly not disappointed in the way this has gone. And now, I mean, I kinda not sold on quad shot because we got conjoined anyway, but everything else worked out just fine. No guppy. No problem. Midas touch is awesome. Because with Power Pill, you know, they work in conjunction with each other real well. We'll save it for the boss, because, you know, it's kind of a wombus combus. And that's all you need to know. It's the bottom line. I gotta start thinking of anecdotes for the next episode. Preferably, like, I'll give you some credit, you know, there's a little bit of recycling in this one, but why is it that recycling is good, but recycled bits are bad? You don't care about planet Earth? Is that how it is? Not a good joke. Noted. So you took like no damage. That's okay. I did the void last time, didn't I? Man, I must have had like a fever of... Well, in Hot Blooded, they say, I got a Just kill me. I've got a fever of 103. So that must be a lot. So, you know, I must have had a fever of 104 yesterday to be stupid enough to do the void. Anyway. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.